Comics cartoons followed a similar and faster track. Used to be a Ghostbusters, He-Man, Transformers, etc. But then 90s, I watched as many more female attentive cartoons started. Fantastic $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman to me was an example of equal representation done right. I watched both of them. Mm-hmm. You know, they're pretty freaking good. And also, hey, you had the Rockford Files and Charlie's Angels, right? I mean, you know, we were equality. What the hell?
One could legally use a gun, the other one couldn't.
But, no, there was a tweet I saw the other day, like, there were all of these female-centric cartoons and shows like in the 80s and 90s, but for some strange reason, nobody remembers them. Maybe it's because these people touting it never watched them. But
they were sexualizing.
Hold on.
Well, I think I posted it to our Twitter chat, but one of the people I follow, it's Lunar Archivist, I think it is, and she has been kind of going through this gummy bears.
I saw that.
Yeah. And again, some of the things posted, I was like, oh yeah, here's a great example of, interacting in a blind, character on there. And look at how she's treated. And then, showing the princess and, how she dealt with something. I mean, right now, it's made me actually want to go back and watch all episodes of Gummy Bears.
That's funny.
I gotta ask what that statement you made about how there's tons of female-led in the 80s.
Not tons of, but definitely more than they make us. Definitely more than they'll admit to.
You can stretch it. That's maybe 3. Gem.
3 or 4.
You had what was that?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
Was that the 80s or that 90s?
No, that started in the 80s.
I think it started in the 80s, but I know I had friends that watched it in the 90s.
And I'm trying to think She-Ra. That's probably like I could think.
Ron Rugg, Josie, and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
We had a couple there. Recently, I put on Super Friends, by the way, just for the shits and giggles. That show sucks so well. I mean, I look back on it and with nostalgia glasses, obviously, and I can watch it, but I'm like, these stories weren't deep. they didn't really do any deep characterization.
And, I mean, especially in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, every doll line had a cartoon to it. I remember there was something called like Princess Guinevere and the Wind Riders or something where, they rode like Pegasus or unicorns around, and there was another one with some toy that you wound up and they flew around. And
let's not forget that Disney movies, animated ones, were largely marketed towards
Sky Dancers. That's
it. Yes, but kids, we're getting way off topic.
We are. Yes, we are. But I do want to stick to topic. We still have a lot to go here. Austin P., I'm glad you got some books. I still have some here for you, but I think I'll hold on to them. And when you're ready, when you're back, we'll send them. But yeah, there you go. Let's see. Cartoons, what's up? I'm working with a Sunrise team from the new manga of Gundam Witch from Mercury Gay, and the guys are so professional. The thing I heard from people have been his zero professionalism, which we've heard. That's one of the reasons why you've seen stories like if they put pronouns in their bio, they don't get hired because you're gonna get a whole bunch of shit from them. Why would anybody hire, knowing the hellstorm that's going to come down just by hiring these people? They made fun of it on South Park this week, where Butters gets a job and Cartman thinks it's a good idea. He gets hired and immediately goes, "I'm taking a mental health day," and he walks away. It's really bad with that. All right.
And then he opens up the hot dog shop.
Right. It was pretty interesting. It was a fun show. Anywho. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see if I've got this. Okay, this is what we just read, but I guess I accidentally not. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this because there was a bit where
and I didn't even know that she was gay either. I was just reading this, just thought.
I don't know if she was. I don't know. I think I misspoke on that.
She's married.
Yeah, I think
Well,
I
mean,
misspoke on that.
you can be married and be gay. I mean,
Yeah.
She's
well,
a guy.
the two aren't synonymous.
Yeah.
Oh, she is married to a
yeah.
guy? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and
Okay.
I, if I remember correctly, I think one of the things where I'll say the industry started to turn on her was she did not join the Me Too witch hunt.
Yeah.
Which nobody
so
should have.
she wasn't female enough then.
Let me get this last tweet from her, and then we're going to go to the blog. Still remember being at DC and editorial and warned by the management not to engage in conversation with EVS. And then one of my fellow editors, who nobody warned me about, started groping me in the office. And that guy was later lauded as one of the biggest feminists in the industry. And she goes, as a footnote, I've never had a single negative interaction with EVS at DC when I was an editor or now. I'm not saying he's a perfect person, which we all know, but neither am I, and most people aren't. The mainstream comics industry media has their own skeletons in the closet to finally deal with. And a lot of people, as you said, backstage are kind of thinking the reason why she's come out with this is because EVS was on Tim Pool. I think EVS, not being on Tim Pool, is kind of reigniting things.
Well, yeah,
it kind of
maybe,
at least at the very least, shining a light, saying, "Hey, wait a second, maybe all this craziness that these racist, homophobe, sexist, transphobe people have been saying, maybe there's some merit to it. Maybe we should actually listen to it." And of course, everybody's that questions is being ostracized by the left. What were you about to say? Okay.
Well, just, yeah, it has reignited to a degree because it was a more, we'll call it mainstream platform. I mean, where you've got, I think Tim Pool's got probably close million+ listeners, watchers, what have you, and also, the fact too, is what really set, folks off was, him talking about, these, weirdo, specifically the weirdo women that came in.
Weirdo women who came in and I've got it on many videos now where what's her name, black girl, kind of
Jeannie Howard, Vita
Ayala, where she literally said, "Yeah, let's just." They're all that you have to go a little bit further. Vita Ayala literally said, "I'm going to queer up comics wherever I can find it." And a lot of people thought that was a good idea on that same panel, and I've put that on many videos. It's not something that we're guessing here, guys. I'm asked a lot of times whenever I go, I think Tristan asked me once, I'm asked many times when people are challenging me on this, where did you hear this? Where did you get this? What are you doing? Out of their own mouths. That's where I have seen this. This is where I've heard this. I'm not going off. I do not do what people are trying to nail me as doing. I don't say things unless I know the story. A lot of times that makes me the last one in. I get fewer views, but at least I'm right. I don't like to jump the freaking gun. Vita Ayala flat out said it. Teenie Howard flat out said it. Tom Taylor on Superboy flat out said that he was putting his politics, he was self-inserting himself into Superboy. That's the thing. These people are not quiet about their agenda. Remember, ask me about my feminist agenda. You don't have to ask these people about their agendas. They will flat out freaking tell you that.
Oh, yeah. But then the minute that you call it out, they scream
phobe and all
that they're being harassed or whatever. I mean, that's the whole libs of TikTok, thing. Is all she's doing 99 times out of 100 is just replaying their own words. And, it's like, they're angry because they've actually been exposed to normal people. They think they're only talking to people that support them. I found hilarious today were all the people, replying, going, "Oh, Ethan, EVS is so wrong. Look here, oh yeah, here's all these comics that aren't, showing."
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those.
And it's just like, yeah, all you're doing is showing me covers.
Yeah.
Go look at the interior art.
The covers that are made to try to hoodwink the traditional buyers into buying them.
Yeah. I remember remember how long that Carol was drawn almost to the point where it looked like she was wearing a binder.
Carl Manders.
Yeah, to flatten her breasts. Look
Yeah,
at
I remember that.
the recent ones. How was it? Was it Power Girl that got a new outfit?
She's got like the pantsuit now with the jacket. No, she's not covered. She still has the window, but she doesn't have like the bare legs anymore.
The attempt.
Or Starfire is the better example because they're not putting her in a bikini ever again.
By the way,
the attempts to cover up Supergirl. It's just.
By the way,
yeah.
Let me get to this the blog thing, because once I read those, I did the same thing everybody in the chat's doing. Who the hell is this girl? I literally have never heard of her. I have read her books, though. I found out she's been around for a while, guys. She
left the industry in 2007.
Yeah.
What did she edit? She was an editor?
She was there for a while, I should say then. But this is part 2 right here, because this was what was more I guess relevant to what we're talking about. But her first blog here, let me finish talking here.
Sure.
The first blog is her introduction, where she talks about she worked at comic book shop, worked at Valiant in her early 20s. This is the new Valiant after with Acclaim Comics, working at DC Comics at the turn of the century, working as a rogue comic book blogger, working for Marvel Comics, and then editor of MTV's comic books. So she's been here. She did Punisher Max.
Okay.
But so there you go. So she's done stuff. I skimmed over that because what was really relevant was this part where she says several years ago I met up for lunch with an old comics community friend of mine, Elaine. We used to be active in activities of the women in comics, sort of promoting the participation of females in the comic book industry and fandom. All right, cool. Awesome. But Elaine initially had trouble finding me in the crowd in front of the train station. Was it because that so much time had passed since the last time we saw each other? Not exactly. See, Elaine couldn't recognize me at first because she thought she was looking for a man. Because as it turned out, there was a widespread rumor in comic book industry and media circles that I had fully transitioned into a male. JFC, what a way to start lunch. I don't know what JFC means, but
Jesus effing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. There is a common perception within the overall comics community, well, within that relatively small but vocal slice of community who actually cares, that the default ideological position of mainstream comics is pro-LGBTQ. Can we just say gay community? That's what I'm going to say. Okay. But it is a wee bit more complicated than that, especially if you identify as gay. You ought to know about this. Now, there are some comic book professionals and media peeps who are truly pro-gay, but there are others who only do it when it's convenient for them. She actually spelled it that way. They publicly support the cause, but it's a different story behind the scenes. Now, before I recount my personal experience, let me just take this
And we got shut down. No, I don't know.
YouTube got him.
One step. Okay, I'm sorry. Where did we leave off here?
Paragraph ago.
Convenient. Yes, this is how she says it too, guys. Okay. Where is there? We go.
Back up.
Yeah. They publicly support the cause, but it's a different story behind the scenes. Now, before I recount my personal experience, let me just take this concept one step further in media entertainment as a whole. There are those who truly support feminist cause, racial equality, and so on. And there are others who are mostly doing it for the clicks and or who only really respect people from these different groups when they are a part of their particular social clique. And you need to understand this so you are not taken advantage of, are not used as a symbol and thrown away, are not villainized by your former supporters because you don't fit a cliched
This live stream brought to you by YouTube and StreamYard.
Remember, kids, only you can afford
determined box as
welcome back.
Okay, this is getting annoying because it did this yesterday too.
Do you have somebody playing video games in your house right now?
No, I am literally the only one with something going on here. This happened yesterday too. It really did. It pisses me off because god dang it, I just want to do a live stream, man. We're just sharing our, and I got to tell you something. Every freaking time I get, the sphincter kind of tightens because we got shut down. And now I think we're being watched. And when you put something like this up, for a fact there's somebody who's going to listen to every freaking fact. And instead of debating, which I'm inviting you, by the way, if you disagree with anything, come on and debate. But instead of doing that, we'll mass fucking flag you. And this is why you see now, if you watch Steven Crowder, he's saying go to Rumble. I'm starting to put my...
Yeah, it's just your internet sucks, bro.
I think it might just be an internet thing. It seems like it's the bandwidth.
Because we're all still here.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we would all be
stuff on Rumble as well. The thing is that it doesn't happen all day long. This is not something that's happened all day long. This happens when I start talking, and that's it.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's your internet because probably people are on the same area.
Yeah.
So you're basically you're getting throttled because everyone is trying to use the internet at the same time in your community. You're paying for cheap internet. This is the way it is.
We got Spectrum. I don't know how cheap.
Like I said, it happens especially when people start moving more into the area, so you're on the same internet connection.
Yeah, when you have like a bunch of people, they're all using the internet at the same time. That can happen. Yeah, because like RDB said, like none of us are like him, me, and LK. We're not freezing up or anything. Like we can still hear everything.
All right.
So
let's see.